Sinking Media in association with boxer Sam Jones. It's Sunday morning. Last night, two epic fights. I'm going to start with Joe Cordina. Just tell me what a performance, and how did you score that fight?
I had Joe winning by 2 or 3 rounds. I just thought Joe was the clear winner, mate. I thought, yeah, it could be close, but I think the 116, 111 scorecard was absolutely piss poor, to be perfectly honest with you. I think terrible card. But the right man won, and it was a privilege to watch. Just, honestly, one of the most amazing fights you'll see. Like, two proper warriors in there. Like Rakimov, seriously, like he got hit with some shots that, like, his head was like a bowling ball. Like, I'm surprised. I bet Joe's hands this morning are absolutely battered to pieces because he was landing such clean, lovely shots on Rakimov. But
You
you've got to
surprised
give
how
him
tough he
credit. And
was? You surprised?
no, I wasn't, because I watched it. No. I watched the Zelfa Barrett fight, and like you could see he's got that in him. Do you know what I mean? And he's not come to Cardiff to hand his belt over, mate. He was a warrior in there, but it made for a great. Honestly, it was fight of the year, I think.
It was. Do you want to see Joe go for unifications, or do you think a domestic clash with Zelfa Barrett will be interesting?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind a fight against Zelfa Barrett and then maybe a unification fight. But I think him against a Shaki Foster's a really good fight to make. There's loads of good fights for Joe to make. Hopefully, Joe can maybe have. I don't know. I don't think Zelfa Barrett does the Cardiff City Stadium. I think a unification fight might do that. I don't. But listen, why not make that arena a fortress like what it is? You know what I mean? Like, amazing atmosphere, absolutely amazing atmosphere. I think Joe could go maybe have one more there. And that's not to discredit Zelfa Barrett, because it's still a hard fight in its own right. Zelfa performed brilliantly yesterday. But I'm just saying, like, if Joe got past Zelfa Barrett, then do your Cardiff City Stadium maybe in September or something. Try and get 3 fights in this year. That'd be great.
Definitely so. And I just want to quickly get your opinion on this whole saga between the Frazer Clark fight with Fabio Wardley and this back and
Yeah.
forth between Ben Sholem and Eddie Hearn. I'm sure you'll have seen the interviews over the last few days. Eddie's basically saying that he feels Ben is not confident in Frazer. Frazer, I spoke to him yesterday. He's saying, I'll have it right now. And there's obviously this confusion over when the fight's going to be, whether there's an interim fight allowed. What do you make of the whole scenario?
Listen, I don't think it's Ben. No, in fact, I know it's not Ben being not confident in Frazer Clark. Frazer Clark's a tremendous fighter with a great pedigree. But I think what Ben maybe doesn't realize is, and a lot of other people, you will see the best out of Frazer Clark the better the opponents he faces. Some of these opponents, in fact, scrap that. All of these opponents that Frazer's boxed, he would not employ for sparring. Yeah, that's a fact. So if Frazer doesn't fight Warden, that fight has to happen next. But I think Ben showed just a little bit of inexperience in his response to the situation. Just a little bit of inexperience, because it made out like Frazer didn't want the fight. From my experience, yeah, Ben's invested a lot of money. He paid Frazer an obscene amount of money to sign with Boxer. When you build your fighter on this platform, yeah, you don't want your fighter to end up challenging for his first title, a big title fight and a big fight on DAZN. Now, Ben's watching Eddie Hearn and Fabio Wardley on the pitch at Portman Road having these discussions, yeah? So Ben's thinking, they're gonna bid heavy for this fight. And that's the risk. So there's gonna be 2 huge bids for this fight, because Ben won't want to see Frazer go over to DAZN and potentially beat or whatever happens in that fight, because it's a great 50-50 fight. But he won't want to see his heavyweight, who he's invested ridiculous amounts of money in, go over there and fight Fabio Wardley on DAZN on a stadium or wherever it's going to take place. That's Ben's hesitation. So that's the game. That's the game.
Just a point you made there, Ben. I just want you to explain because I know there's going to be
You
people.
just call me Ben then. You just
I
call me
didn't.
Ben then.
I didn't.
Delete that part.
It's
I'm
early.
joking.
It's early in the early in the morning, Sam.
It's all
You
right,
said it's
mate.
a 50-50 fight. There's going to be somebody sat there going, "Hang on a minute, Fabio Wardley. He's only had a professional career. He was a white collar boxer before.
Yeah,
Fraser, he's an amateur elite, basically. He's a bronze
yeah,
medalist in the
yeah.
Olympics. Why is that fight a 50-50 fight in the pro game?
No, listen, I you look at and someone like Anthony Yard. Anthony Yard had 10 amateur fights, limited experience. Look what Fabio just did to Nathan Gorman. He destroyed him. Nathan Gorman was a tremendous amateur. He was a good amateur boxer. It doesn't make pro game's a different game. Fabio Wardley's um his trajectory's been fantastic and deserves a lot of respect. And the fight should be in Ipswich. It should be. I said that to Fraser. The fight should definitely be in Ipswich because Fabio's earned that right. He's the champion. He's the defending champion. He's beaten everybody convincingly who he's been put in front of him. He deserves his big moment. It's a great fight between two gentlemen, by the way, two really wicked guys. So may
Yeah.
the best man win there. Let's just hope no politics get in the way of that in getting that fight, because I know for a fact Fraser wants it and I know for a fact Fabio Wardley wants it. So let's hope it goes to bids and the fight happens next. Like if there's interim fights, it'll be embarrassing, completely embarrassing. So let's see that fight next because it's a fantastic heavyweight fight.
I'm glad you
And
explained
we
that.
could see Sol Dacres fight David Adelaide. Do you know what I mean? And the winner fights the winner. Maybe the loser fights the loser in that kind of scenario. Great fights to make, mate. The heavyweight division's bubbling. But like what I keep saying, let's see these fights take place because there's a lot of bollocks in boxing where politics stops fights and it's got to stop happening. We'll move on to the
Yeah.
big fight yesterday and we'll speak
You
about that
moved
in a
me on
minute.
nicely, but I wanted you to explain that scenario with Fabio, and I think it was a good explanation to let people know whether he was a white collar, it don't mean anything. The guy's smashing it in the pros, so it is a really good 50-50 fight. Moving on,
Yeah.
putting all your bollocks on the line, as you said, it happened last night. Politics aside, two undefeated top level fighters, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, put it all on the line. Did it live up to expectation for you?
The fight, not overly, but I'm ecstatic the fight happened. And listen, this is what I'll start off with, right? I've seen so many tweets this morning, and I've had messages as well from people. Oh, Ryan Garcia shit, isn't he? Like, no, mate, he's not shit at all. He got digged by arguably one of the biggest punches in boxing. And listen, I'm in no position where I've been through this scenario so many times, like talking about fighters that suspect, they've quit. I personally don't believe Ryan quit at all. I think Ryan showed a lot of toughness in that fight. He got put over, he got back up. He tried. He got hit with a big. So when people say, "Oh, like he's shit," it's just like have you been hit with a shot, with a body shot by Tank Davis with an 8-ounce flipping glove on? No. So you don't know how he felt. It was a delayed reaction. Now the biggest problem we have in boxing, it's relevant to this conversation, is that we don't see mega fights. Yeah, a 23-year-old yesterday, Ryan Garcia, put it all on the line in a super fight to give the fans what they wanted with no fucking belt on the line, yeah, with a stupid rehydration clause. We should be commending people like Ryan Garcia, not flipping hammering him with abuse on Twitter. Oh, he's quit, he's crap, he's shit. This is the reason why people don't want to sacrifice the rose, because it's so, especially boxing fans, it's so toxic when a fighter loses, they're shit, they should retire. It's bollocks. Records are for DJs. Let's make the best fights happen and commend these people commend the fighters for making it happen, especially in a world where there's so many promotional companies and so many promoters have huge egos and they don't want to work with each other. These two young men put it on the line. Let's commend them both. Tank Davis was incredible. He doesn't waste a shot. Massive congrats to him. And listen, Ryan Garcia is 23. Hopefully we see him come again. And I'm sure we will. I'm sure he'll be involved in some massive fights. But let's stop hammering people that they've lost the fight, and when they've put it all on the line in a super fight, which we all didn't even really ask for. We didn't really ask for this fight, and we got it, and it was fantastic.
Well, Sam, it wasn't just boxing fans who kind of made them sort of comments. His fellow countryman, Andy Ruiz, heavyweight former undisputed champ, unified champ, should I say? He basically said Ryan gave up. He should have risked his life more.
Yeah, that's listen, Andy Ruiz, right? I've met him on a couple of occasions. Very nice fella. Andy Ruiz was the world heavyweight champion, yeah, the champion of the world. Came off a fantastic performance against Anthony Joshua. He admitted after that fight he never trained a day. Yeah, he never trained. Yeah, he came in ridiculously obese for that fight, and that's disrespecting the belts. That's disrespecting the fans. That's disrespecting everything. So I think you shouldn't. I think he's wrong saying that. But listen, who am I to? I'm just giving you my honest opinion, mate. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. That's that. I just think people are harsh on him. But listen, if other fellow boxers want to say those things, then they're entitled to that. But I'm just giving you my opinion as a fan. I want to see super fights happen, and we're not going to see these super fights if we hammer 23-year-olds for stepping up to the plate and getting beaten by the better man on the night. I think it's ridiculous, but that's just my opinion, mate.
Obviously, with your managing experience, if you was managing both of the fighters, Gervonta and Ryan, what would be the next weight category and potential big name opponent you'd be sending them both? What direction would you send them both in?
I don't know. I'd be avoiding Shakur Stevenson at all costs. I think he's top dog. I don't know. I think I'd like to see Tank just continue to fight the best. I don't want to see him have any come back down and fight someone we've never heard of, and that super fights only. For Gervonta Davis cemented himself as the face of boxing. So let's see the face of boxing fight world champions next and unify and like become undisputed and stuff. So let's see him survive. And then Ryan Garcia, I'm sure you might have listen. Ryan Garcia should go straight back into a big fight. But I guess we'll wait and see what happens.
Could you see Gervonta Davis competing at super lightweight with the likes of like Josh Taylor, Teofimo? Do you think he's got enough power and size and skill to compete?
Yeah, he's got enough power. It's just whether he wants to. If he makes the weight comfortable, he might want to stay there and have a few more fights there. But yeah, you can definitely see him moving up to 140.
100%. And I think Ryan Garcia said he's planning to move to super lightweight, so we might see them fights. Sam, I appreciate your time.